Okay, today we were playing a game on Route 66. We were playing Junkrat the entire way through it. I am not sure the SR of this game because I couldn't find the email that it was attached to. Once the replay code doesn't work anymore, it gets very hard to cross-reference them if you got a lot of different ones. We've had like fucking 8 Junkrat games. All the Junkrat players been out lately. So, defending first. I assume we're friends with the Moira. Just looking at the names. So we put a trap up there. We managed to kill their Anna. Excellent. Anna's now tilted for the rest of the game. You know you are too. You come out the door and you step on the trap and you're like, ah, motherfucker. If we hit him with that mine, I think we might have actually been able to kill him. He was pretty low. Well, he was like half, but you know. Doomfist kind of tanky, but we didn't die, and like that's the important thing. Our trap is all the way behind their point, or behind the payload at this point, so I'd put another trap somewhere further up. Yeah, there we go. Because, I mean, maybe Anna steps on that one back there again and gets more upset, but probably not. We are very close to the bad men, which is a little spooky. Hold on. We don't have a soldier on our team. And we just landed, like, right next to soldier. Mercy's behind us as well. A little bit of an awareness snafu right there. There's no soldier on our team. We have McCrane. So we're very clearly up to no good right now. We're waiting to use the Riptire. Oh no, we're not gonna use the Riptire. We're just gonna... Yo, just do it, dog. Just do it. Just do it. Dude. So, like, this was a lot of time spent doing nothing. So... How long did it take for us to actually do anything here? That's 5 seconds. That's 10 seconds. It's 10 plus seconds where we did nothing, which is not great efficiency. You want to be doing something at all points in time, really. Which is, of course, also not realistic, because there are times where you have to wait for your team to regroup and everything. But you want to, like, minimize downtime as much as you possibly can. So if you're gonna do something that has, like, an extended period of not doing anything, you gotta be real sure that payoff's gonna be huge, you know? You're gonna go off on that 10-minute flank as McCree. It's gotta be a pretty tight, you know, you gotta be pretty sure you're gonna kill, like, 6 people. This is unfortunate. So, I mean, we were up to no good there. Unfortunately, Zarya was paying attention, so we didn't get away with that. And then we come back just in time to get Earth Shattered and, Meteor struck, so unfortunate timing, you might say. I don't really like going off on the big flanks as Junkrat. Junkrat's better to do it on than someone like McCree or Soldier because the mine is pretty good mobility still, and Junkrat's very scary once he gets up to you. But I still don't really like going up onto those big missions just because it's hard for, like, Junkrat to get there quickly, which is kind of the big deal for me as far as it goes. Ooh! Just shoot him. Like, just shoot him, though, you know? Junkrat players do this a lot, where they'll throw a mine at somebody willy-nilly. Like, I get it there because we were reloading, so, like, we kind of just want to get some damage on the Anna, I get it. But, like, here, this guy's not gonna die to the mine. You gotta get another shot in first. So you gotta, like... You know, he's so close to him as well. Like, we did it, just in the other order where we mined first. It's just that creates more possibilities for him escaping. This is also, like, a tremendously bad habit as Junkrat to just, like, jump in when you're using Riptire. Because, like, it's real easy to get fucked pretty bad when you're using Riptire this close to people. That's about the firmest fucking you can receive, really. Maybe you're into it, who knows? Maybe you wanted to get pinned up against the wall by the big German man. Who among us has not at some point in time? But... like, don't do it. Like, don't throw yourself in. Sometimes you're in a position where you haven't really got much of a choice because you're, like, about to lose the round if you don't touch the point. So then, like, fair enough, you might as well. But if you don't, if it's not literally, like, do this or lose the round, don't do it. Also, I don't like how we walked all the way across that bridge there. There was no realistic chance we were defending that point, so we just went really out of position and put ourselves at grave risk. So there goes the Doomfist. We're sleepy. That's unfortunate. Yeah. mean, look, sometimes you get sleepy. This did more. Oh, God mercy. So, oh my God, did she almost die? I'm sorry, I just kicked the shit out of the table. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. I was playing, like, not that long ago, and I was playing Anna, and I'm, like, walking along parallel to this wall that's, like, right here, right next to me, and I'm walking, and this Doomfist I didn't see on the side just slams right in front of my face, and I almost died in real life. It was that fucking jarring. Just didn't see him at all, and he just slammed right into the wall an inch in front of my face. It was terrifying. That's more or less what just happened to Mercy. I was making a point, but I've long forgotten what that was, so hopefully it wasn't anything too important. So we're off up to no good again. McCree's with us this time, though he has since abandoned us. So I don't like any of what we just did. I don't like any of that. So, like, the cool thing about Junkrat is that, like, you don't have to do any of this shit, you know? Like, Junkrat, his big thing is area suppression. Like, you don't really need to do anything too fancy to be effective on Junkrat, right? Like, we're doing a lot of, like, trying to get round behind the bad men, surprising them, you know, just, like, running up into their faces and everything. There's, like, no need for us to do that, realistically. This camera is slowly tilting more and more. There's no reason for us to realistically do any of that, because you can just sit, like, up on this high ground and just pelt them from above. And then if somebody comes up here like this guy, you fucking show them the business. Like, Junkrat's a very spammy hero. If you're gonna go in for these, like, big plays like that, you gotta be real confident with what you're doing, you know? You can't just, like, walk up to them like, I'm just going in and touching the point, I'm throwing some bombs at the bad man. Like, you gotta know what you're doing. You gotta be thinking, like, alright, I'm gonna go in, and I'm gonna run right up to that fucking support. I got a good angle, no one seems to be looking. I'm gonna run right up to him, I'm just gonna hit him with the BAP, and then I'm gonna throw a mine at their face, and I'm gonna escape at the same time. You know, you gotta have a firm plan in mind. You can't kind of, like, run in and wing it. Someone like Tracer and Genji, you know, you can wing it to an extent with them because they're extremely mobile heroes. Someone like, and like, they still benefit from having a plan, but there's an element of being able to, like, ad-lib it, right? With Junkrat, when you're getting, like, right up in people's faces, you've got to know why you're doing that. You've got to have a firm plan. You got to know what you're going in for, you got to know how you're going to get it, and then you got to know how you're going to get out, and you got to know what you're going to do if something goes wrong. Whereas with this game, it feels like we're just sort of doing a lot of ambling around, just kind of like trying to come up behind them, like, hey, we got anything? Not really, but I think I'm still gonna try, you know? Like, you gotta plan it out a little bit more. Unfortunately, we didn't have a mine there, because we actually might have been able to kill the Mercy and the Valkyrie, but unfortunately, we did not have a mine ready. So, here, this is the thing with this high ground that you need to bear in mind. There's not a lot of cover up here. This high ground doesn't even come with the usual benefit it has of being far away and being able to, like, step back and use the ground as cover. Because they're kind of, like, right there. And they can be up there as well. So you gotta be, like, careful just how far out you trend along that high ground. Because there's no cover. So you can't just kind of, like, rush across it, you know? God damn, this camera is driving crazy. Because I keep watching my elbows or my shoulders slowly get cut off every time. I'll just move over here. I'll just move myself, I guess. So they captured the second checkpoint. We've almost got Riptire ready. Oh! We might have been able to get her through the door if we reacted in time, but, you know, react faster is of limited usefulness. Now the incorporeal microphone is going to show up now and then as well. That's okay. So we're still up to no good. Oh, he was up to no good as well. Well, we're not really up to no good. They haven't actually pushed up. Now we're up to no good. Now we're up to no good. Oh, yeah. Oh? This is looking pretty good. This is looking pretty good. I like this one. I like this one. Okay, yeah. I'm with that one. I feel like that one had a good chance of being a pretty decent payoff. My barometer on that one was like, if this Riptire goes well, like, we're gonna win an entire fight right now, while they don't have a lot of time left. So I was in support of that weight right there. Good angle. Very hard to see somebody up there. People are not checking that spot very frequently, you know. Put a trap somewhere. Yeah, there we go. Okay, no, we had no trap down, so you know. I would have preferred if we actually just put it in the main thoroughfare, because they're gonna be, like, rushing straight up at this point, and I feel like they're more likely to rush up that way. We also stuck around too long. We ended up getting caught as they were rushing back up towards the point. We need to be further back by that point, just, like, chuck the trap up and run, basically. So, this is bad. No, okay, no, they did get us, they did get us. Look, there's not much you do to get out of that one alive, you know? We got some damage in. That's about the most you can ask before that one, really. So we've almost got Riptire ready again. So this is a time where we really don't want to do anything super risky, because we've almost got Riptire, which is enough to win a point, or win the game, or win the round, rather, from this position. So we don't, don't go up to the point, don't go up to the... Okay. I would have preferred if, again, we chucked a bomb at them there first, because, yeah, if you chuck the mine at them and they don't live, or, I mean, if you, okay, good job, mate. If you chuck the mine at them and they live, yeah, there's a good chance you just save them, so I would have preferred if, again, we chucked the bomb in first, make sure they die, you know? We also used Riptire in a real exposed place at a time where people are going to be reinforcing, which is not really ideal. I would have preferred if we ducked back into the hallway again before we used Riptire so that we hopefully survive. Because when you're down to this kind of position, you don't want to die. You know, being dead at this point in the game is pretty bad. Alright, traps up. I would have preferred if we chucked that closer to the point because there's a Lucio bouncing around right now. Alright, we got the Lucio anyway. Like... He's the one that, like, tends to stall those situations out, so I'd rather put it somewhere it's really likely to catch Lucio, but Lucio died anyway, so who cares, right? So, real exposed place up there. Don't like the really being up there too much. Someone like Widow, you know, sure, fair enough, it's a good line of sight. Junkrat doesn't benefit from being up there so immediately, so I don't like that exposed position, but we didn't die. And like I always say, if you don't get punished, you ain't gotta learn, brother. You ain't gotta learn a damn thing. So, first fight went well. We've managed to get him. Our team comp is much better for attacking than it was for defending. This is mostly just in regards to the tank setup, which was Hammond and Diva the entire time. Very bad for holding ground, but pretty good for taking ground. Ooh, that was pretty good. That was a pretty good toss. So trap's nowhere right now. Just chuck the trap down, you know, put a trap somewhere. Even if you can't really afford to go put it in a super great position. Put a trap somewhere where it looks like it might pay off. We did, in fact, get clapped right there. It was an exposed position, which is... Oh, my God, dude. Soldier's so happy. Oh, my God. Oh, Soldier is so unhappy about that one. Alright, never mind. It does... Irrelevant, because we just clapped, like, a lot of their team right there. So, who even cares what happened prior? Everything went well. So, Toes is Oh, my God, this is so egregious. Like, they were gonna die. They were gonna die. They were never making it out of that position alive. We did not need to use Riptire to kill those people. Sure, Riptire made sure they died. But, like, we have to push this payload so far right now that using Riptire like that doesn't even really gain us anything. Because the first part on each checkpoint tends to be, like, free ground, right? Like... The defending team on Route 60, this is way too much also, by the way, but I'm making another point right now. Route 66, the defending team doesn't realistically start holding the payload until you get to the gas station. Not the gas station, the garage. Gas station on the first checkpoint. Like, right at the end of the first corner on the saloon. Like, they don't realistically hold it until they get to there. So everything prior to that is kind of just free real estate for me, you know? Like, first checkpoint, you don't defend until the first bend. So, like, using Riptire there doesn't even really gain us anything because we're still pushing down the free real estate part of it while they're respawning. Whereas if we save it and then we use it, like, as we're getting to that point, we maybe get to snowball the second half of the track, which is the much harder part to capture. Basically, my point is, the first half of the checkpoint is usually easy to take, so it's not worth burning a lot of resources for it, unless for some reason you're just having a real hard time taking it. The second half of a checkpoint is much harder to take, so that's the point where you want to be expending your big resources. Simultaneously, oh, soldier's right there. Simultaneously, oof. You don't want to be sitting on a ult for too long at the same time, so there is a certain trade-off to be made there, but, like, you know, hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully this makes sense. I don't like using ults on the first half of the checkpoint, basically. Oh my god, oh, we messed up the execution. Oh. If we killed him right there, soldier would have been tilted for the rest of the night, right? Like, that would have been pretty sick. That was again, like, ooh, poor Reinhardt. That was again, like, very overly aggressive. And, we got punished for it that time, so tragically, we do have to learn. Now, if we, to be fair though, if we just executed the kill on soldier better, we probably would have survived. So, hey, you know. Hey, so sometimes you gotta learn to click the men better, and sometimes you gotta learn when it's not time to go. This is not time to go. So the time to do that would be if it was do this or lose the round. It is not currently do that or lose the round, so all we did was, like, run out into open space straight at the soldier. It was not a good angle to try and kill him from. That was a pretty low chance of working. And if soldier targeted us sooner, we would have never even had an opportunity to try. So, like, not a good attempt on that one. This is, again, way too much. We could have just stayed up on the high ground and pelted them for free, pretty much. That was way too aggressive. Now, miraculously, we actually made it out unscathed. Oh my god. That was, I was enraptured by what we were watching right there. So, like, thank God. That just about worked out. So we almost didn't make it out unscathed. Oh my god, we've got Riptire. So, like, we could have just, like, ducked into that room again. Like, look, if you don't get punished, you don't have to learn, like I always say. But, like, whoa, dude, fucking relax. So, like, this is an example of overcomplicating the situation, right? Where, like, we're like, bro, let's fucking go. We got a checkpoint to capture. But, like, yo, dude, they're kinda all right fucking there. Like, there's a lot of ways this plan backfires. We don't need to do this, because here's what we have to really do. Is duck back into the room at the top of the staircase behind us and just, like, roll the Riptire out one of the doors at them. Maybe the door next to them's a little too obvious. You're afraid of getting fire struck as you go out the door. Just go out the other door instead. Just go out the safer door. Roll it up the top of the saloon. Maybe buy a little time, just, like, kind of spinning in place up there. And then, like, roll out over the top to get them. You know, like, that's way safer. There's less that can backfire horribly on that position. Because it's like, you know, there's possibility of backfire on both plans, right? Because maybe they just guess correctly and break the Riptire. Okay. So you lose Riptire. If this plan backfires, you lose Riptire and you die. Like, I'm less keen on that one, really. Zenyatta did use Transcendence, so maybe we communicated that with our friend ahead of time, that we were going to combo these two things. I still don't like it. I still would prefer if we didn't do it that way, because that way is way riskier. Wow, we killed McCree. I was like, yeah, we might get Soldier off this. We killed someone completely unrelated. Oh, she's coming. She's coming. She's coming. She didn't commit fully. She didn't commit fully. I saw her silhouette coming, but she didn't fully commit to coming up and getting us. The way I play is, you know, I like to minimize risk as much as possible, basically. And, like, that was just way riskier. So we made that one easier for McCree. We kept walking into him after we saw that it was him. And that's just making it easier for McCree, because once McCree, like, gets to us, it's done. You get flashbanged and you die, pretty much. So we made that one easier for him. Like, he's coming into a confined location running at us. That's great for us, right? Like, we don't want to make it easier for him. Him trying to move towards us is risky in that position because we're playing Junkrat. And he's moving through a confined location with not a lot of potential for juking. So just chuck a trap down, you know? Okay, we did chuck the trap down there. Okay, it took a little bit of time, but we got there. That's the important thing. So we've lost this fight. Such is life. Such is life. Hopefully we don't die. It's a little much. It's a little much again to go for that one. Best case scenario, maybe we kill Toes, but again, that's not really going to gain us too much. And, like, worst case scenario, we end up getting staggered because we went for something like that. Like, you know. Yeah, see, that's the problem. Is, like, that's what could have happened earlier, right? Like, that's the thing with this. It's like, you don't need to do this in line of sight of them, right? Like, this creates an additional risk because they can see you setting it up. This is why, like, you don't want to do it from an aggressive position unless you have to, because it creates the additional risk of the setup time with Riptire. Whereas if you back up to do it, then, you know, maybe they just guess which way you're going to send it through and they get it. Sure, cool, you know, that'll happen sometimes, but, like, the risk there is, again, just you lose Riptire. The risk of doing it there is you lose Riptire and then you also die. It's just an additional risk that doesn't need to be added. So we did manage to get the Ana right there. We're very low, but we, like, honestly, if we die right there, I wouldn't have even really cared because we killed 2 people. Like, you know, that's fair enough, to be honest. Like, if you go 2 for 1 on your big ballsy plays, like, as long as one of them was real important, I'm alright with it, you know? Like, if you kill their main healer and somebody else and die, it's like, yeah, like, you get, you know, there's value there still. Oh my god, did you see Bridget's body? Did you see Bridget's body right there? Oh my god, she just got her spine fucking shattered. Ugh, Jesus Christ. So we've got Riptire. We don't want to use it right now because things are looking bad right now. And we've only got 1 fight left, so we want to wait till we're in our best possible position. This is creating additional risk. Getting picked off right now is terrible. We shouldn't even peek that corner because it's just frankly not worth the risk. We didn't even... Oh god, I just accidentally put it all the way back at the start. Like, we didn't even stand to gain ult charge out of that because we were full ult at the time. So, like, we stood to gain excessively little from peeking, but we stood to lose a massive amount, because getting staggered right here is real bad. Sure, the risk isn't high, but there's no real reward for like, a potentially catastrophic risk, right? Like, not worth peeking at all until your whole team is there, like, ahead of you, basically. So... here we go. We haven't got much time left. If we're going to go off on a big flank play, now is pretty much the time to do it. Okay. Doesn't look like he knows. Oh, he does know, but by the time he knows, we're already in position. McCree just killed 3 people with Deadeye. This is fantastic. Yep, we're just going to go up top here and use Riptire, I assume, from here. We waited, like, you might as well use it sooner. Like, you can just grind it outside the door that you think they're going to walk out of, right? And just get them immediately. Because at that position, only, like, Reinhardt's likely to get back in time. So, like, you could have just had it grinding outside the door ready. Just so you don't have to, like, do the setup time during a potentially risky moment. But, like, yeah, by that point, we were probably going to win the round regardless of what we did. So, not a huge deal either way to worry about. So, now, defense time. We both got a minute. Irrelevant. Route 66 is a very snowbally payload map, so it's gonna be, like, how fast do we stop the first team, pretty much. Like, such is life. So, this is, again, spending a lot of time not doing anything. when we're playing like an area suppression hero. Like, we can just be like spamming at them that whole time, you know? Especially with someone like Junkrat, right? Who, you want to minimize downtime as much as you can on all heroes, but especially on someone like Junkrat, whose main thing is suppression and spam. Like, anytime you're not shooting at the enemy, like, you gotta have, like, a pretty good idea for why you're doing that, you know? Like, again, that was just not a play we needed to make. Like, we could just sit on the gas station and spam at them as they're coming around the corner, right? And then, like, that's a really good position to be on this map, because you can just sit up on the gas station, and you can chuck bombs down at them, and then when you see somebody get low, you just chuck a fucking mine over their shield at them, right? Like, you know, now this is more justifiable because things are, like, getting spooky by this point. We don't want them to, like, snowball, so we can go for a bigger play. Alright. Even then, I don't really like it, because by that point we were missing a lot of our team, so I'd rather just wait until we start regrouping a little bit more for the next one. But, like, more understandable in that position than previously. Basically, we're playing Junkrat with, like, a really flanker mindset, where we are, like, constantly going for these, like, flank, sneak up behind them, off-angle stuff, and, like, I haven't really been down with most of them, because, like, this is just too much. Like, we're just, like, running straight at them, like, all of them, while our team isn't here, and, like, we're lucky to be alive, right? Like, that's just mad risk for very little reward, and then, like, we get away with it, right? That's the thing, is that, like, we haven't died from all of these plays, so, like, you know, if you don't get punished, you don't have to learn, is the joke I make, but, like, in all seriousness, like, just because you lived or it worked doesn't mean it was a good idea, right? Like, doing something like YOLO random and then living at the end of it doesn't mean it was the best thing you can do. Like, the best thing you can do for Junkrat is typically just sit back and say, like, we keep doing this. Like, we keep doing this Riptire stuff. And, like, hey, it worked. Look at that again, right? Like, it worked right here. So, don't get punished. You don't have to learn. But, like, there was one dude alive. They were all alive. They had to C9 for that to work. This is not a consistent setup you're gonna get reliably, right? Like, better to just wait for your team to regroup and then use Riptire from a covered position and then just, like, send it out from an angle that you don't think they're gonna be watching and get them, right? Like, it doesn't need to be as brazen as we've been making it this whole game. I feel like this is something Junkrat players do a lot, where, like, because when it works, it fucking works, right? Like, when it works, you kill a whole fuckload of people, and that feels real good. It gives you the big dopamine hit. This is why McCree players still go for these 20-minute flank setups, right? Because when it works, you kill, like, 5 people. But it only works, like, 1 out of every 20 times is the thing. Well, that was good on toes. Damn, that was a nice catch on the bomb right there. With the shield. Like, when it works, but, like, when it doesn't work, it really doesn't work. Like, the best, like, consistent results you get from Junkrat is just, like, sitting in an area where you have, like, a good angle to spam into the entire enemy team. You do a whole bunch of damage to people in a big AoE. You break their shields like crazy. Do you necessarily kill them? No. But do you do a lot of damage to their shields? Yes. Do you do a lot of just damage to all the people in there? Yes. Then that sets up for other people to get the kills. It sets up for your team to capitalize on it, right? You contribute more consistently in Junkrat by just holding good angles and spamming into the enemy team from somewhere where you can't really be contested. Because then you become this source of constant ambient damage. You're making life real difficult for their tanks. Especially if they're not running a big shield like Reinhardt. Like, if they're running Sigma or an Orisa as their main tank, then, like, it feels bad to be getting spammed at by the Junkrat. It feels bad as Reinhardt. It's just, like, those two are real bad. That gets you more consistent results than these, like, real big YOLO plays. Right here, I don't mind that we go for this big YOLO play, because we're in overtime right now. Like, right now, we have to make a big YOLO play or lose the round, or lose the whole game, right? So, like, right there, bothers me less. Good timing on my man in the general chat right there. Basically, right as the game ended, he yells gay in the general chat. Good timing, my man. He had no idea I was doing this at the time, because I was watching the replay, but boy, Christosphere was on point with that timing. So, like, the big thing with this game, and I'm sorry if you had a question in the email, by the way, I can't find which email this game was attached to, so if you did have a specific question, please let me know, and I'll try to answer it in the comment instead. Like, the big thing for this game is, like, don't go for so many of these, like, big dick YOLO jump into the 6-men plays and all these big flanks and everything, right? Like, when it works, but, like, you've gotta, like, really know why you're going for it. Otherwise, it's a huge risk. Sure, there's a big reward for it as well, but, like, it's, the chance of it working is so low most of these times that, like, it's... Like, we got, like, a 50-50 ratio in this game, right? Like, you get more consistent results just playing Junkrat as area denial, suppression, spam lord. And, like, defending Route 66, dude, just, like, hold the high ground around they're pushing, spam into them, break their shields. If you hit somebody, throw a fucking mine over their shield and finish them off, right? Like... It doesn't need to be this way. There's safer ways to get to the same goals on someone like Junkrat. So thank you very much for watching. If you did, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. If you haven't already, you can join our Discord and ask questions more directly and have a conversation about them, or just shitpost with us. I start streaming on Twitch Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 8 p.m. EST to 11 EST. There's a link in the description. If you managed to make it all the way through the video and someone still enjoyed it, please like the video and subscribe for more content of middling quality in the future. And I hope you found the video helpful.